another episode of Ohana Manawa. Today we're going to be doing Chicken Katsu Curry. As you saw in the beginning of the video, I did prep the veggies that we're going to put in for our curry, and I deboned the chickens that we're going to be using for the katsu. If you guys do want a tutorial on how to debone a chicken, comment below and get a video started. Alright, gonna go now we're gonna put our katsu together. You're gonna need eggs, flour, and panko. Alright, gonna gather those things, get individual bowls for them, and gonna show you how to put it together. Be right back. Alright guys, so here we have our katsu setup. If your panko does look a little too large when you purchase it, if you notice that it's very flaky. What makes good katsu is the flakiness, but I personally don't like it too flaky because it tends to burn faster than I want to. So go get it before you run to the food processor, a Ninja if you have it, and then it's a little bit more easy to work with. And at the same time, what we're gonna do, get a pot of water going. We're going to be starting our curry sauce. Okay. So when you have water to a stream boil like that, go ahead and throw in your large diced vegetables, potatoes and carrots. Boil that for about a few minutes until the potatoes and carrots are semi-soft, not fully cooked through, because we still have to throw in our onions. Okay. While we're waiting for that, let's put this katsu together. All right, guys. So we got the panko. Next, we're going to beat our eggs. We're going to do a little something special to our eggs. We're going to add a tablespoon of sesame oil and a tablespoon of shoyu. Like that. We're going to season our flour. Just a little bit of salt, pepper, that's all. Alright, so first we're going to start with flour. Mix it all in, make sure it's nice and coated. You don't want any wet spots or empty spots. From that, you're going to shake off any excess and throw it right inside the egg. Now the trick is to not use your dry hand or the hand you use with flour to dip into the egg, because next thing you know, your hands are going to be caked up with the dredge mix. So what you're going to have to do is use your other hand. Use your other hand to grab whatever is wet. And after you do that, shake off any extra. Same goes with the egg. Make sure it's completely coated. Then you're going to throw it onto the dry. Now, you use your dry hand. Just toss it into the katsu. Toss it into the breadcrumbs. Okay. Right. Well, and I just made a mistake. Grabbed it with my dry hand. Now I'm just gonna start caking up. Lesson learned. Lay these out. Good thing to lay them out after you bread them, only to make sure that you got every nook and cranny of the katsu, every nook and cranny of the chicken, because it will show in when you fry that you missed the spot. Last one. Now, as you're done, for educational purposes, if you haven't done katsu before or done any dredging like this before, a 3-step dredge, when you use your dry hand, dip into a wet hand and dip into something else dry, and you use the same hand, what happens is your hand begins to look like this. It begins to look like katsu itself or whatever you're using. And to avoid that, you're just making a bigger mess. So again, when you dredge, use 2 hands. All right, we're gonna clean up, and then we're gonna go ahead and finish our curry. Carrots now. Careful, your lid may be hot. quick way to check your potatoes and carrot is to pierce it. If you have a little hard time struggling, it's about ready. We're going to drop this heat to a medium. So go ahead, throw in that. Give that a quick stir. Okay. We're gonna drop that to medium. We're gonna put the lid back on. Maybe about another 10 minutes. We're gonna come and check on it. In the meantime, we're gonna make katsu sauce. Put it on medium high. Then go ahead, add a tablespoon of butter. Alright, as that's going, what you're gonna do, we're gonna start adding teaspoon, shoyu, 2 teaspoons. After a tablespoon, 2 teaspoons of shoyu. I'm gonna go 4 teaspoons of Worcestershire sauce. I'm gonna give that a whisk till the butter is completely melted. So as it's completely melted, there's no grains of sugar. It's not gritty at all. What we're gonna do is go ahead, add a local favorite, ketchup. You start out with a cup and mix that in. You can go ahead, just take it off. You can turn off the heat if you're missing your ketchup. About another ounce of it just because it's a little too wet still. So katsu sauce is a savory sauce that goes well with, of course, any type of katsu, but it's also good for any fried items or pan fried items. It doesn't have to just be katsu, it can be cutlet, you know, stuff like that. Okay, so what you're looking for is a nice thick consistency. Put some lighting on this. It'll be a nice dark brown, nice auburn color. Well, there you go, guys. Katsu sauce. Now, let's go ahead start our actual katsu. All right, guys. Go ahead and get your pan. I'm going to use extra virgin olive oil just because it heats up nicely, and it gives me an even cook on the katsu. But for the oil, you can choose your preference. If you don't like using it, you can use vegetable oil. Okay, as soon as that gets a nice heat, let's put our katsu on. Now the thing about katsu is it soaks up a lot of oil. No matter what type of oil you're using, it will soak it up due to the breadcrumb. So it's best not to pack your pan so much. And then as you lay your first drop, you want to hear that sizzle. And then go ahead, just add a little bit oil in between. Keep it from soaking up, drying out, and then there's nothing in your pan that's actually cooking your katsu. Okay. Just right in the edges. Now, if you thought this chicken katsu curry was going to be healthy, I'm sorry. But no, it will not be due to all the oil. Okay. Make sure you get a plate and some napkins to catch up all the excess oil after you're done cooking your katsu. Okay. As soon as you start seeing nice golden brown edges, if you can see them, they'll start being golden brown on the edges. That's a good indication that below it is nice and golden. Go ahead, drop your temp to a medium. We're gonna go ahead and check. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Okay. Depending on your burner, you can indicate where your hot spots are. If you notice on your katsu, how mine is only partially is cooked, dark brown, and the others all light. I will have to rotate my katsu around. But after that, after you give it a nice flip, again, go ahead, add a little bit of oil in between the spots of your katsu, just so that it starts cooking. Make sure your chicken is fully cooked. For internal temp for any poultry will always be 165, okay? Now you can also get a thermometer to check, but as you saw in the beginning of the video, as you saw me slice it to thin out the chicken, that is actually to help do an even cooking on katsu. That way you're not stuck cooking like fat pieces when the thin pieces are already cooked and dry, and then you're stuck with mediocre katsu. No one wants that for dinner. Now while the katsu is frying, we can check our curry. Alright, looks good. You can tell that the potato is fully soft now. See the indication, if you can see it, it's starting to separate. That means your potato is done. Alright, now onions are nice and soft. What we're gonna head and add our curry. I'm gonna be using is a instant curry, kurumaro curry. Correct me if I'm wrong. That's from House Foods. I bought this at my favorite store, Don Quixote. All right. So with katsu curry, there is excess water from your potatoes and carrots. What I like to do is I like to save that water due to with all the starch that's inside. With all the starch that from the potato that got released from cooking. So I'm gonna save it just to help break down this curry packet, this curry seasoning. Okay. This will also help me have it will also help as a thickener from the starch to help thicken up my curry sauce as well. So I don't have to worry about adding a slurry or any cornstarch to help thicken it, or any help. Don't have to add any thickeners for my curry. All right. As you can tell, curry is done. I didn't add any. I just used the residual water that was from the potatoes and carrots and onions. It gave me this nice thick curry. Look at that. No cornstarch slurry, no thickeners had to be added. This is all natural from the vegetables. Huh? Now, as we're doing that, let's finish up the katsu. Right, so let's flip this katsu back over. See the other side. Nice and golden. Can't get any better than that. Now, depending on your pan, like how my pan is, I gotta flip it now to the other side. Both sides of my chicken gets cooked, because no one wants raw katsu. Okay. Depending on the heatness of your pan, your oil, once you get that right temperature going for katsu, you can get it done in 5 minutes, flat. Give them a quick couple more flips. What you also can do is you can push on it. If it does have bounce back, or if it just squishes in, your chicken is still raw, but if it does have bounce back, it's firm. By touching it, a good indication that your chicken has cooked thoroughly. But of course, you can also cut into it. All right, I'm gonna finish up this last piece, and let's put this baby together. Be right back. There you go, guys. Chicken Katsu Curry. You got your rice, you got your chicken, with a nice curry sauce on the bottom. I'm gonna enjoy this. You guys see that? Look at that. Now let's taste this sauce. Crispy, flaky, nice juicy chicken. Mmm. Look better than that. Alright guys, thank you for enjoying this episode of Ohana Manawa. Till next time, aloha.